Hi, I'm Brian, and in this short video, I'm going to talk about the 3 things you need to know if you want to be a remote freelance copywriter. I have been doing this for about 15 years, and I'm not saying that these 3 things are everything I know, but they are 3 of the things I would have liked to have known before I got started and could have been helpful to me. So with the whole, the virus and the lockdown and people working remotely, a lot more people have been wanting to work as a copywriter because you don't need a ton of bandwidth. It's a really good job. And if you're fairly organized and can think straight, you can be a copywriter. It does not take any great amount of talent. But it's also, as I've found, it's a great way to work because of the flexibility. You can work for clients as long as you can keep the time zone straight for when you're going to have phone meetings. You never actually have to see your clients. And I have clients that I work for remotely. I hardly ever see them, and they're 20 miles from my house. And I have other clients who I never see because they're like 2,000 miles from my house, and it just works equally well. Anyway, that's email, phone, the different team tools they have now. Anyway, all that to say, it's a great way to work, and it seems kind of a thing of the future. So anyway, very quickly, these are the 3 things you need to know. Number 1 is you are going to get work through networking. You're going to get work through people who will recommend you. And I guess the flip side of that is you are probably not going to get work, or you're not going to get the work that you want to do if you do it through signing up for a service or on a message board, or do some kind of thing where people who don't know you hire you. I think the problem there is it's because you're kind of a commodity at that point, and then there's a lot of people competing who will lowball writing jobs. And on the other side, at the corporate level, where you want to be writing for business with decent budgets, is they'll have a problem and they want you to solve it. And so there'll be some meeting where we're like, oh no, we have, you name it, we have this content that's due, we want to do this marketing campaign, and we're launching this new product. Does anybody know a writer who could do something like this? And that's when the person you knew or worked with, and it could even have been years before, will go, oh yeah, no, I know this guy or I know this gal. She's great. Let's see if we can get a bid from them. There are people who I worked with, didn't see for years. They'd moved to a company, moved to another company, thought of me, in comes the phone call or the email, and boom, I'm working with them with a major client, one that would have been extremely difficult, if not impossible, to land without the referral. So I just cannot say that strongly enough. I think LinkedIn is great because you've got to be able to be easily found. People need to see your stuff. They'll look you up after they hear about you, or this friend you haven't seen in years may have an old email address. So you want to be easily found, but just don't rely on that for bringing in the kind of repeat clients that pay really well and respect your work. That's going to come with referrals. Okay, the second thing, and I kind of touched on it there, kind of gave it away, is that you're being hired to solve a problem. You're not being hired because you're some great writer. So unless you're James Patterson or Stephen King, right, you have a name that can really lend marketability to what you're doing. You're coming in, you're kind of a craftsman, you're kind of a nobody. You're coming in to fix a problem. And I kind of think of it like someone who shows up at a CPA, for taxes, and they've got a shoebox full of receipts. It's just a mess. And so the CPA, with their knowledge and with their organizational ability, can kind of iron that out and do what's best for the person. And the person's willing to pay a premium to have that major problem solved. So keeping that in mind, you have to know that some of the best jobs, some of the best clients you'll work for, you're going to come in and it may look a little scary because things are kind of all over the place and they're not sure what to do. They just know they have a problem. And so you can use your experience. You can kind of have some good organizational tools for sort of how you approach different kinds of projects. It's a case study. It's a series of blog posts. It's email newsletter. It's a white paper. So this is sort of how you work through these things. So you give the client confidence because you know a process, and then you just sort of know how to order an argument in a way that's going to make sense for the reader. And basically that's the other thing. You just find out, well, who's going to see this? What form is it going to be in? And you can help them think it through. So you're not really a genius. You're kind of someone that takes them through the process, and you're dependable. And then when you can take all that scattered information and turn it into something that's like, wow, this is like a really great marketing piece that we can use, that's really good. They're going to want to hire you again. The third thing that I've learned and that you should know is you've got to think like a client or like a customer. So for instance, when you have your car worked on, or you have a plumber come and work at your house, what are the two things you really want to know? Well, I guess number one, you want to know, can they do the job? Okay, can they fix it? All right. And then after that, you want to know, how much is it going to cost and when will it be done? And it's exactly the same in copywriting. No matter how big or how small the job, people, they want to know what it's going to cost, and they want to know when it's going to be done, because time and money are these two risk factors. So keep that in mind. Flip it around so that you want to be reasonable. You don't want to work for clients who are unreasonable or not going to pay you what you're worth. But on the other hand, just kind of walk a mile in their shoes and think about how they're coming with a budget, and they have a boss they're trying to make happy. And so if you can meet their deadline, even if it's tight, if you can do them a favor and get this thing turned around, and it's very fair, it's within their budget, and then it's a kind of thing that they can take to their boss or to their group, and it makes them look good, that is terrific. You're on your way to a good relationship with them. And because what you want to do is you want repeat business. It takes a lot to ramp up with a new client. So you want to get clients that will come back to you, and it's to their advantage because they do train you in their sector and in their product and service. So anyway, before on this channel, I've been doing a lot of just very white paper specific videos, and it's really important. A lot of clients want white papers. They need help with white papers. It's low-hanging fruit because a lot of people don't know what they are. You can learn expertise in that fairly quickly, and I have a book on how to write a white paper if you want to do that. But I'm going to be posting more videos on how to be successful, how to become like a freelance, a remote copywriter, especially for the kind of corporate clients that you can make a living at. So stay tuned for that. And if you're just finding this, go ahead and subscribe, and you will see those videos. So thank you very much for watching.